Carrier Lumber is committed to providing safe workplaces for both employees and others visiting our sites. The purpose of this video is to provide basic information to log truck drivers related to the safe operation of equipment on Carrier's site. Let's begin with a few general rules. There is no smoking allowed at the truck scales or anywhere in the log yard. No alcohol or illegal drugs are allowed on the site, and no one under the influence of alcohol or drugs is allowed to be on the site. No children or animals are allowed in your cab on the site. If anyone is injured or any equipment damage or malfunctions occur, or if any unsafe acts occur while on site, or if any environmental spills occur, it must be reported right away to a Carrier management person. This can be done through the Wagner operator. We have first aid facilities on site if needed. All drivers must wear appropriate personal protective equipment anytime they are out of their cabs, beginning at the truck scales. This includes hard hats, safety glasses, high visibility vests, and CSA-approved safety footwear. We also have an anti-idling policy. We request your cooperation in helping to be environmentally responsible by avoiding idling if you are parked for long periods of time, unless it's extremely cold outside. All drivers are responsible to know and abide by any Workers' Compensation Board legislation related to their trucks and equipment. Drivers are also responsible to follow Carrier's procedures while on site. We will review those procedures with you now. Safe work procedures are also posted at each workstation and are subject to change from time to time. Don't forget to smile while you're on Carrier's site. There are recording video cameras at several workstations within the yard. If there are any infractions or incidents involving your truck, we will probably be reviewing the videos with you as part of our investigation. When you arrive, your first stop will always be at the truck scales. Do not remove any wrappers prior to entering the Carrier lumber yard. Park on the scales and go into the scale house. Give your completed load slip to the attendant, who will enter the data into the computer. There is a washroom in the scale building that you should use if needed. There are no washroom facilities anywhere else in the yard. After leaving the scales, call the Wagner operator on Carrier's yard radio channel 151.955 and tell them what species you're hauling, as well as whether it is a long, short, or sample load. The Wagner operator will let you know where to go next. Usually, you will proceed directly to the banding station, but it is possible you might go directly to the dewrapping station. Please obey the Wagner operator's instructions. At the banding station, center the truck approximately 5 feet from the structure, allowing enough room for the banderman to work. After you have your truck in the correct position, the banderman will turn on the red light mounted on the dewrapping station located in front of you. Do not move your truck after the red light is on. Wait to get out of your cab until the red light is on. Drivers must be outside their cabs while banding is taking place. Help the banderman install Carrier's bands around the load of logs. Good communication with the banderman is important to avoid being struck by a band being thrown over the load. After the banding is completed, wait until the banderman is in a safe location and turns the green light on before proceeding to the next station. The next stop is the dewrapping station. Park along the curb as close as you can without hitting it. Be sure your cab is far enough forward that it won't be hit by any of the restraining arms when they are lowered. Apply your emergency brake or shut off your engine, leaving the transmission in a position where it cannot move. Get out of your cab and carefully look at the stability of your load. If you think there are unsecured logs in your load, call the Wagner operator for assistance before doing anything else. If the load is secure, use the controls to lower all the restraining arms onto the load. The restraining arms must come into contact with the load. From a safe position, look at your load again and be sure there are no unsecured logs caused by lowering of the arms. Again, call the Wagner operator for help if there are unsecured logs. When safe to do so, you may remove any flags or lights attached to your load and begin removing your wrappers. Stay underneath the shelter at all times while doing this. Undo the cinches and pull the wrappers back toward the shelter. Always watch the top of the load when removing wrappers and be aware the load could shift. Do not use the dewrapping station if your cinches are on the passenger side of the load. If a wrapper gets stuck on the unsecured side of the load, do not try to retrieve it yourself. Call the Wagner operator for help. After your wrappers have been removed and stored on your truck, use the controls to return the restraining arms to their upright position. Be sure to check this before re-entering the cab. There is a red strobe light at the end of the shelter that indicates when the arms are not in the upright position. Your truck is now prepared to be unloaded in the log yard. Continue to follow the Wagner operator's instructions. After you park, apply your emergency brake or shut off your engine and leave the transmission in a position where it cannot move. Get out of the cab and stand in a safe position at least 5 meters in front of the truck and in clear view of the Wagner operator or other equipment being used to take your load off. Remain in the safe position until the load is off and the Wagner operator has pulled away. Re-enter the cab and proceed directly to the next station. You are not allowed to disconnect air lines or get onto your trailer for any reason while in the log yard. The next stop is the trailer hoist. You need to know the weight of your trailer. The trailer hoists have a maximum load rating of 10 tons. Do not lift loads that exceed 10 tons. Center the truck directly under the trailer hoist. After you park, apply your emergency brake or shut off your engine and leave the transmission in a position where it cannot move. Drivers are not allowed to climb onto their trucks or trailers for any reason. If your trailer design requires it, disconnect the compressed air lines. Use the pike pole that is provided to fold down the trailer stakes. Activate the push-button pendant by turning the red emergency stop button to the right. The button should pop out, and you should now have control. Lower the hoist hook to the molly of the trailer. Use the handle to align the hoist hook. Avoid any possible pinch points for your hands. After it is connected, move to the work platform outside the hoist bay area and begin lifting the trailer. Always stand on this platform when the trailer is not on the ground. Never stand under or near a suspended load. Ensure the reach is centered in the orange reach yoke guide and that your trailer is in the correct position for its configuration. If the trailer needs to be repositioned as it is being lifted, use the pike pole provided. After the trailer is lifted high enough, push the red emergency stop button on the hoist pendant. Once the trailer is in the air, do not go into the hoist bay. Always exit and enter the work platform from the west side, the opening nearest the cab. Back the truck under the suspended trailer. When in position, apply your emergency brake or shut off your engine and leave the transmission in a position where it cannot move. Activate the hoist pendant again and lower the trailer into position. Use the pike pole to adjust the trailer as necessary. Never use your hands. Ensure the trailer is properly secured. After the trailer has been loaded and secured, use the pike pole to disconnect the hoist hook. Raise the hook to the height of the orange reach guide yoke. Push the red emergency stop button on the hoist pendant to deactivate it and return the pendant to its position on the beam. Return to your cab and proceed slowly out of the yard back to the truck scales to weigh out. Thank you for your commitment to safety while on the carrier site. If you have any further questions regarding these procedures, please contact the Health and Safety Coordinator.